Today on Van Helsing, we talk about the elite vampires and finally getting discharged from the hospital. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV.
Right? Little air guitar?
Yeah.
We are here doing the Van Helsing after show, Season 1, Episode 7. For me, I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV. And joining me, I have the lovely, who are you?
Oh, hey guys. I'm Andrew Mena, but I'm dressed up as Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls, the Disney show that has nothing to do with this, except for the fact that he likes vampires and probably knows a thing or two. So, repping DP on this thing.
It works. Tomorrow's Halloween, so you know.
Totally.
I went with vampire. We're gonna go traditional, and I got my fangs, and then I got bloody scrubs because it's a hospital. And
what?
It's appropriate because today's the last day we're at the hospital for now.
Tying it all together.
And then just for Vanessa, I have just a little, little something. Just got a little something on your face.
There you go. And your name is?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I was so excited about my outfit. Yeah, guys, my name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane.
Excellent. Yes, this is Halloween episode for
It is.
us, hence the reasons you guys are dressed up.
Yay! No, I do this every day. Duh.
Every day.
This is just what we look like.
My costume
Yeah.
is human woman.
Woohoo!
Thank
There's
you.
not
Very
many of
convincing.
them, so
I know. Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
That's
great.
What, I was going for it.
I don't know. It's a little slutty.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
I tried dialing it back,
Yeah.
but we digress.
You're just too hot. So
That's what it is.
Thanks, but no. Overall thoughts of this episode. A lot happened.
oh yeah,
I mean,
it
yeah.
was explosive.
Yeah, there was a lot of warfare in this episode. There's they mentioned at one point vampire civil war, which this is fast becoming. Like
Yes,
this show is
it is.
basically vampire civil war, which
I think I
kind of
predicted
love.
that, though.
You did. You totally called
Yes.
it. So we got a lot of fun stuff happening in this one. Warring factions coming together.
Good exposition explaining stuff we had questions about. So that was nice to be like, oh, okay, thank you,
And as
without
always-
being too much like exposition moment.
Yes.
And as always, raises more questions.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, but we did
Yes.
get some answers in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Of course, on top of more questions.
There
But-
was a fang too. Monster Thing had a fang tooth.
Yes.
The beast, the sewer beast.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm glad that Vanessa is healing because she wasn't healing properly, but we'll get to them. Let's start with the elite vampires, though. This high-end faction of vampires. So we start with Rebecca, really. And
Rebecca is sex vampire, just to be clear. Right?
Yes.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Kind
yes.
of.
Yes. Yeah,
The one that
Rebecca.
we saw in the sex scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, we see Rebecca, and we only know that she still has Shima in her possession.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sheila?
I watched the show with the subtitles, and it said Shima.
Okay.
I thought it was
Shima.
Sheena
I
believe
last
Shima.
episode.
I think
but
so.
I thought it was Sheena, but
Yeah, I thought it was with an either way.
okay. But what do you think is going to go on with Rebecca and Dimitri now? Because it seems like they work together, but they're not really together.
I mean, it seems like they're part of this civil war, right? Because it seems
Yes.
like Dimitri's going out of his way to find out from this doctor in the first scene what's going on with Rebecca, right? Just kind of bribing him, it seems like,
He's
with
like,
that
so
steak.
what are you doing? And tell me all these
tell me all the
experiments.
secrets. Yeah.
But then he finds out about Julius, and he's not a happy camper.
Yeah, he mountains that guy's head. Just
That was awesome.
And he's
was
like,
so
keep
gross.
eating, and you're like, I lost my appetite.
yeah, he's like, what is wrong? You've lost your appetite. Yes, you just smashed a man's skull.
But that was a pretty gruesome, awesome death.
It's
Yes,
awesome. That was a good
totally.
way to die.
Yeah.
Like, that
I thought he was
And
going to
it-
rip the head from the body.
I'm
I'm like,
actually
oh, okay.
I'm actually happy he did
Squish.
the full clap, because I feel like it's such a like, not that it's a real thing that could happen, but it's such a phobia of mine that there could be someone so strong just to be like, pop, you're insignificant.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was just very like, and I'm in charge. It's very indicative
Yeah.
of how powerful
Yes.
this guy
He
is.
popped him like a zit, It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
it's
dead.
sprayed everywhere, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
appropriate.
Did. I mean, that had some, serious blood spatter.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, I mean, Dimitri, he played a bigger part in this episode, which I'm glad, because every once in a while we see, maybe 30 seconds of
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
on screen.
it's always just like
Yeah.
clips here and there, basically. Like, I'm waiting to find out who he really is. We know he's ancient. He's one of the major
Ancient.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we don't know
I guess,
how ancient.
like, elites and ancients, they're just synonymous with each other.
I think so.
I'm guessing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we now...
Well, you're elite because you're ancient?
yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
Maybe. I think that could just be their double name for them. But
Sure.
we do know that Julius, there's always been a separation between Julius and what happened in his past. But we don't really know what exactly happened. We just know something happened, that Julius is now the top of the feeders, but the bottom of the elite
Yes.
food chain.
And we also have confirmation that Dimitri made Julius. I made him, I can break him. It's something that, or I can unmake him, basically, is what he says during that little like food scene.
I don't think I actually caught that.
Oh yeah. So he basically
Nice.
says, yeah. So we know for certain that he comes from him. So there's some sort of relationship, whether it's like, you know, the jilted father relationship, or if it's like a mentor-mentee relationship, where he like wanted to do things one way and he wanted to do things the
Or
other
the
way.
son's trying to supersede him, and so he's not happy
Exactly.
about
So
it.
yeah, I'm very interested to see how Julius and this guy are like related, basically.
Yeah.
Do you think Julius
the
tried to
relationship is.
overthrow Dimitri?
Well, he kind of is right now.
Yeah,
He's
I
trying
think
right
that's the
now,
question.
but-
Is
Yeah.
like, is
In the
this
past?
the first time?
Yeah, in the
or
past, like
has
he might have like threw a coup
history?
to try to
He
take
might
up
have done
Dimitri.
stuff on a smaller scale. Like, not quite as elaborate as getting, like, Vanessa. But, you know, like, maybe he's done other, like, challenging authority activities and such.
To challenge that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we saw a lot of Dimitri and his death squad.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
Scary
Wow.
people.
The ninjas,
we've
basically.
seen them. We joked that they were like the ninjas in the
Yeah.
Black Fortress, but now we know who they really are.
Yes.
They work for Dimitri. Death Squad, quote unquote. Scary though.
Dimitri's Death Squad. They say Dimitri's Death Squad like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I know.
And I just want to say,
Branding.
Dimitri's Death Squad sounds like an arcade where you go, you know, like, oh, we're going to Dimitri's Death Squad to grab a pizza and play some like arcade games.
Only thing I thought was weird is, jumping ahead, but speaking of the squad, is they're fully covered except for here. Why are the lights a problem? I mean,
Great
can
question.
affect through
Great
the
question.
skin. I mean, the clothes maybe.
The light.
But when the other vampires came up to the door outside, it was their faces that was exposed, and that was like, it's burning and stuff.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, they got no skin showing. That's perfect, because you can,
Yeah.
you know,
basically
pull that
ninja
hood
on
down
in.
and just like, don't look at anything. Like,
Right.
they cover up, like, can you lead us forward?
I don't
Yeah.
think it's more so as a physical protection for themselves. I think it's just a way that they brand each other. Like, this is a
Yeah,
terrible
or it's
reference,
just
but
in-
you know how like KKK dress
Yeah.
up in like their white robes?
Well, it's-
I think it might be like their look to
Okay. Sure.
signify that they are a
Ooh,
squad.
these guys are the
It's
vampire
intimidating.
KKK.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring up the KKK, but like that's the only
Sure.
thing that went
But I
to my
mean,
mind.
these are the vampire KKK. I think that's
I
totally
mean, it could
apt.
be.
Yeah,
It could be.
Yeah.
seems about right.
But everyone's afraid of the Death Squad because
Oh, yeah, they respect it.
even Julius is afraid of the Death
Yeah,
Squad.
because
but
they're
he
going to commit
tries to,
genocide.
Yeah, but
KKK analogy is working out, guys.
Julius
Yeah.
realizes this is a fight he cannot win, and
No.
he backs
Yeah.
down.
Live
Yeah,
to
he,
fight
like-
another day.
Yeah.
He like literally looks over his shoulder and like playfully goes, "Oh, them. All right, let's go." Like
'cause
just
they
like,
got
ugh, okay.
Yep.
It's very. I want to know like if he had a battle with them in the past, or if he led them in the past. You know what I mean? Like if he was
or
the
if
king
he
of
was
the Death
in
Squad.
it
You know what I mean?
and got
Yeah.
kicked out.
Exactly.
Ooh,
like what's his
yeah.
relationship with the Death Squad? Because he was very like, all right, let's go live.
Like, he
fight
wasn't
another
afraid of
day."
them, like,
Yeah.
the
He
way
knows
the
what
others
they're
were.
capable of.
Yeah.
It wasn't
more
even. Yeah,
so.
it wasn't even fear. It was just knowledge.
Yep.
It was just
Sick.
passive knowledge. Like, yeah, we're not going to win that. Let's go.
Yep. Peace out.
Yeah.
Yeah, done. All
Very
right,
interesting.
So that kind of just pretty much brings us a lot happened at the hospital. The whole
Mm-hmm.
meat and potatoes of the episode was all at the hospital. But we see Vanessa finally heals
Yep.
because
Yes.
Doc took the
Takes
tooth
the
out.
tooth out, yeah.
And I'm glad
Yes.
that wasn't a prolonging thing.
Yeah.
Didn't happen more than 5 episodes.
I did write.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they wrapped that
really
up.
big though, because that was.
Oh yeah,
super
that was
gross.
nasty. You gotta hold it open while I get it.
You gotta hold it open.
The sound effects. It's,
Squelching.
Yeah, and
like,
like
ah!
even the cut when she sliced it already and it wasn't healing, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's kind of
It's like,
nasty to
no,
look at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good reason why she wasn't healing. That I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like a piece of it was left behind.
Yeah.
It's kind of septic
She's got
poisoning.
sepsis. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. You know, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm glad that didn't last too long. But what did you think during all this, Axel and Doc? there was a lot of moments where like Axel was just like touching her shoulder and like consoling her and whatnot, and she just seemed like she was frozen. She didn't know what to do. And like going off of what you guys have been saying in the past episodes, if you think there's something there, did you see it in this episode?
Love is a one-way street for him.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely cares for her and is like in her corner basically.
Yeah.
But there is definitely like he has a very clear like wrong image of her. You know what I mean? At least in her mind. You know, because of the way that
he has a romanticized, glorified.
Right.
You're amazing, and she's kind of like,
tried to save my friend.
That's not how it went down. I kind of shut the door on them, and I got bit.
Yeah, in the process.
Yeah. So now seeing this episode, do you think it's gonna happen?
I mean, absolutely.
I actually liked Doc and Susan. I mean, not Doc. Sorry, Axel and Susan. When they're at the top of the escalator, and she's like, "Come on, soldier boy," and I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of them together, but that was kind of fun.
That could be a good pairing.
I would rather they be besties than be together. That's my personal opinion, but I see it. I can see it.
I can see that too. And I
Doc
didn't even
belongs with
realize
Axel. OTP,
Wait, what?
guys. OTP.
Well, and the only thing though too is Susan. She's all like, "I'm so tough, and we're gonna take out. I don't want to go back to the vampires." But as soon as she started shooting, she was a little bit like, and I'm like, "Whoa,
Awful
whoa!"
trigger discipline.
She had no like, "I got this." That attitude disappeared.
And when she's,
I think it's more like the effort that she wants to fight. Like she has the personality that she wants to fight. Where Vanessa really wasn't like that.
That's true.
Like Vanessa had to work herself up to that.
That is true.
But like I'll give it to her. Shooting ability was not great either. But the fact that she was willing and she was like,
effort.
"Let's do it, bring it on." All right, Susan, you're cool.
I wrote down after she said "ready to rock" when she got her gun all ready to go.
Yeah.
I wrote down maybe you guys should take cover. Like you're just standing there in the middle of this like hallway.
Well, the vampires aren't going to come
yeah,
at
they're
them
not
with
like
guns.
shooting, but still.
Yeah.
What about ricochets, you guys? None of you are like, besides the soldier, trained like
That's
firearms
true.
people. Anyway,
But you gotta
it's
give
just a
them
thing.
credit. It's the effort.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the
you're
effort
right.
that counts.
The effort of standing in the middle of a hallway.
I don't know. That was a pretty booby-trapped escalator.
No, there was.
So.
There totally was.
That was awesome. The more that happened, I'm like, Axel, your like booby-trap planning skills are bamf right now.
I was really
It's
happy
like,
when like
yes.
the second and third like layers kind of collapsed
they
in.
just
I was
kept
like,
going?
There, yeah,
It's like,
great.
yes.
He's got this thing under control.
Yeah, that pretty much takes us to the whole Death Squad actually getting into the hospital.
And Blondie Death Squad guy.
Blondie dies.
Oh, that her too, but I meant Blondie Death Squad guy.
Blondie.
Are like weird like.
Balding.
Is he bald?
I thought he was bald.
I thought he had blonde hair. He's like a blonde
He was
German
totally bald.
man.
And he's the same guy that killed Vanessa.
Yep.
Right. I'm pretty sure
3
he has
years
blonde hair, you
ago.
guys.
I think he's bald.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
he
putting it
seems-
to you guys. I'm pretty sure this guy
leave
has
a
blonde
comment.
hair.
Is he bald or blonde?
Yeah.
Pretty
This
sure
is
he
a
was
blonde
bald.
I think
man.
he was bald.
Because I thought to myself, this guy
blue
looks like a
light.
Nazi.
Nah.
That's what I thought to myself.
Really?
Not because he was bald, because he had like straight up white German hair. You know what I mean?
No,
I
that's
thought it
terrible.
was the skin tone.
Yeah. It's hard to tell because they were in blue light, so it kind of.
That's true.
But I'm pretty sure.
It's just
That's
super,
true. I want to know why he is allowed to be with the vampires even though he's turned back, where anybody else who's gone back, who's turned, the vampires are like, nope, you're done, go away. But him, he's like in charge almost, or at least like the point person scout for this elite death squad. So somebody realized the
He's important.
value of him early on compared to like any other group. Because the other ones are like, oh no, you've turned back, get out. But him, they're like, ooh,
I feel like
you
he
could be
must
useful.
he must be the baddest of the bad guys, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, he.
for him to stay in Vampire Crew, even not being a vampire, he must be awful.
Yes.
I think that's basically what they're trying to say.
Someone in the chat room agreed with you and said blonde.
Blonde.
And if you
Thank
guys
you.
watch this later, we do pay attention to chat room, so chime in.
Chat with us, y'all.
Aha, with your mug, you're like, hey.
Chat away.
Yeah, it's a good prop.
But yes, he seems. Oh, I don't know. Phone. I don't really know where he stands, but he seems like the leader of the Death Squad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like he's a
'Cause
leader.
just the way that they were all fleshed out and reminded me of the ring race from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. Just like that pyramid kind of formation that they had. But it seems like he's top
The
dog there.
flying bee.
That
yeah.
he could have replaced
Yeah.
Julius.
Ah.
He could have been like the Julius.
And he was
now.
smarter than them, too. When the first booby trapped happened up at the upper level and he stepped on the thing, he's like, and duck, and a whole bunch of people behind
That's
him
true.
eat it.
Yeah.
It
He
got
knew.
the arrows or the harpoons or whatever those were.
That was awesome.
That
Yeah,
was
that's pretty
awesome.
rad.
All those.
That was some
booby
Indiana Jones
traps.
stuff. Yeah.
Like Axel was thinking like 3 years ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, he planned.
Oh
yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, okay, can we talk real quick about in a little bit in the last episode, Bitter Girl, who dies in the beginning of this episode?
Yes.
Catherine is her name.
Yeah.
Bitchy girl.
And can we just
Crazy
say,
girl.
Can we just say, Bitter Girl dies bitter?
Yes.
Sorry, Bitter Girl. Maybe you should have had a better attitude.
Right?
She had it coming, you guys.
Dude, it's
like,
so
and
unfortunate.
it sounds terrible when we say that, but like
Yeah.
karma's a bitch.
It's so frustrating to
Yeah.
root for the death of a kid and be
yeah,
like,
right.
this kid really needs a comeuppance.
No,
but she did.
She had it coming, and especially
yeah.
after last episode. Like,
I mean, she
she
tied
did
like
not
a
have a good ending.
she tied like a shiv to a stick and tried to stab and did stab Axel
Yeah.
and tried to kill him.
Tried to kill everybody in
Yeah.
that. Okay, she just went.
because of her own
crazy.
failures.
Right. And I mean,
It's
you
like,
have to
no.
and just the visual of like a kid with a stick poking people in a cage. Like, come on, dude. Like, you don't have to be very smart to know that that's wrong. Just
Yeah.
don't do that.
No, she was so annoying. There was nothing redeeming about her. So I'm kind of like, eh. And you guys were ready to kick all the other people out into the world. So now you can't be like, oh my gosh, they kicked us out. Pretty sure that's what you were going to do or kill them.
He
Yeah.
killed us when he made this whole apocalypse happen. It's all his
Yeah,
fault.
that's like her
Come on,
attitude.
dude.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's totally her attitude.
He
He's
made
the
me-
one who
he
actually
made me
set the
live.
volcano off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his doing. But I'm glad that she's not a problem
Yes.
Yeah.
anymore.
Not that she was really a
And
problem.
other annoying
but-
blondies.
But like she got killed by the vampire. So do you think she'll actually come back as a vampire?
I'm unclear how that works.
Or was that just like
could be.
beating
Excuse me,
to
I'm
a
dying.
bloody pulp? Please don't die.
All right.
Here, do
You good?
I'm looking at that.
Okay. Yeah,
Or
because
was she
the way,
beaten as a bloody pulp?
well, it's different because the Death Squad people, maybe if they didn't bite her and they stabbed her, because we don't exactly. She wasn't like ripped to shreds. She wasn't like neck bite per se.
Yeah, she was okay to talk for a long time.
yeah.
For way too long.
I want to say she might not come back, but that could be something they throw at us. Like, just kidding, she's back.
But I mean, like in fairness, kind of, like just only from what we saw, Vanessa kind of died the same way.
That's
Like,
true.
and that was by a vampire who beat the crap out of her, and she was able to talk for a little bit, a few minutes afterwards to
Vanessa's
talk
like
to her.
superpowered.
Yeah, but like Vanessa had the ability to still speak and talk to her daughter
She
Dylan.
gave
She's
her
"Go
like
get
one
help."
order. She did not say several sentences like Bitter Girl was like.
But you know what I'm
Just
saying?
tell everyone that I was really upset about it, and that take it down a note. I have several things to say on this. Like, come on, dude, just
Yeah.
die
Yeah.
already.
Well, she died.
Yes.
Do you
She
think
did.
she'll come back though? I hope.
I hope not.
I don't think so. I don't think she represents anything important enough in this story for her to
Yeah.
come back.
Exactly. I second that sentiment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I wonder when Muhammad is watching them, if you get turned to a vampire and then you somehow subconsciously make your way to Vanessa, maybe you could get turned back to human. Like it's not the end of the world to be a vampire around Vanessa.
Around
Just saying.
That's true.
Like I wonder if they would subconsciously know, like, wait, I gotta find her. Or would they just be like complete aversion to her? Be like, nope, I can't go by her. She'll change me back.
That's a good question.
Because we haven't really had that yet, where
No.
anybody we know actively
Is a
on the
vampire
outside,
around
yeah.
her. Yeah.
Right. Because it seems like all the vampires, they all have their own cliques.
Yeah.
Right.
And they want Vanessa for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Can we
But
talk
I'd
about-
like to see a lone vampire.
Me too.
by
Yeah.
themselves.
Like the lone wolf vampire.
Yeah.
Can we talk really quick about in the very beginning of the episode, Doc and Axel are having that conversation. We can talk a little more about Doc and Axel in general, but they have this one moment where she says, "Maybe we don't want the old world back."
Oh
Did
my
you guys,
gosh, I
did you
was
guys
like,
have a feeling
what?
about that? Oh, yeah, me too. Like, what is this feeling? Like, I'm worried about Doc. Like,
Doc is
Yeah.
a very depressing woman.
Yes.
I mean, she has a lot of darkness in her, and I think she holds it all in. She doesn't talk about it with anyone, so.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a very melancholy woman. Like
Right.
she doesn't seem very happy.
Right.
no.
And she's unwilling to share her burden with anyone, so it's not like she's like, you know, getting better anytime soon. But I was just I was really taken aback by that idea. Like, what's the other alternative, Doc? Do you want to live in this vampire apocalypse that's like better for you?
Where everybody's pretty much guaranteed to die. So
Right.
it's like, at least in the previous world, you had a chance.
Right.
Yeah. You had a good stable job. You were help saving people.
I'm just so curious
Yeah.
where that like perspective comes from, because she spent 3 years in a cage. You know
yeah,
what
maybe
I mean?
like she just kind of gave up on life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's it all worth in the end?
So I mean, I almost feel like we need to worry about Doc a little bit. Like maybe
Yeah.
she's like suffering from depression, and these are some of the like the symptoms that are like low key like showing us. Like,
I mean, that's kind of understandable. I can't imagine us in that situation.
No,
like,
yeah.
what
Super
we would feel
chipper,
like
like,
after
yeah.
3
I
years.
just got out of the
But-
cage for being in 3 years. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they still have, everybody else still has a I want to live mentality.
Right.
She's kind of like,
Is
Whatever
is there a point to
happens.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's asking that question. That like, is there a point to living? Right.
Yeah.
Like now anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yes,
fascinating.
Doc,
but
there
Doc,
is.
we care about you, so
Yep.
come on.
I just don't see her and Axel together at all.
And see, that's why I see them together
Not
so
anymore.
much, is because he like
I
Not
never
as
did.
much anymore.
he has such a drive to live. Like that's why he's alive still. So I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
he's got to like light her pilot light of like survival. You know what I mean?
And it's not like she's
Even
really
if it's not
doing
romantic.
anything to maybe want to live herself. Yeah, she's doing research to like try to help other people survive, but she's not really doing anything for herself to help survive.
Speaking
think
of them and
makes sense?
surviving, what did you guys think of like, we need to make a chemical weapon with
Dude,
Vanessa's
I was
blood?
like,
yes, we've all
called
done
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, since episode 1.
They're gonna put it in some sort of dart gun,
Yeah.
dart vampires from afar. I'm telling you,
It'd be
it's gonna be amazing.
Weaponized.
Yep.
Yes.
God, have we been
Like-
saying it for
like
And
the
it's
seven
her
Cure in
saliva too,
X3.
not even just blood, because when she bit a vampire, it wasn't her blood. That
Yeah.
was like my spit.
Yeah,
kind
she
of a
doesn't
thing.
like excrete blood from her
Yeah,
mouth.
it
Yeah.
comes from like the chemical compounds
Yeah.
within
Within her,
Vanessa.
bro.
Yeah.
Within Vanessa.
They could. I at least like that. Axel's like, okay, well, if not now, that's something we need to do later. I'm like, thank you. That's acknowledging the audience.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, you gonna do this yet?
we know.
Yeah.
So maybe the
Not right now.
finale.
Yeah. Wait till we get to a better hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe the finale. That'll
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? That could be
Which
early
number
predictions.
was this? This was episode number.
This is 7.
7.
Okay.
Out
So,
of.
do you know if we have 10
13.
or 13?
13.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
13.
So we got
So,
6 more, you guys.
We're more than halfway there.
We're halfway-ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see those things that we just.
Yes,
predicted.
but the takedown
that.
of the hospital, though, and all those booby traps that they all have to go
Yes.
through, and destroying all the UV lights, and they
Those-
got in.
Every time they broke a UV light, that was such a powerful moment because
I was like, oh.
you can't unbreak a light. You
Yeah.
can't unbreak glass. So it's a very final, a very dramatic like action for them to take.
Yeah.
But it's also like that was their defense. That was their like ace in the hole. Like we can deal with this and you can't. But
That was really scary too, like
Yeah.
just cinematography wise, because that was the only lighting source. And once you literally take out every
Sorry,
single light,
black.
you're all in
It's just-
darkness.
yeah.
Yeah, it just like slowly
Yeah.
just came at the viewer who's like looking. I'm like, it was a scary thing
it's
knowing
such a
that they're
beautiful
going to be
show.
in darkness.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It was a great shot.
Good job, cinematographer.
And then when when you're talking about when the first of the Death Squad guys walking in too, and he's like going down the hall. Yeah. Oh.
yeah, he just turns. He like looks. He's just like.
He's like, I got a plan.
I challenge you. Yeah.
I'm human.
Which, if they were looking through a window on that door, why didn't they shoot that out and shoot him?
Yes. Can we talk about that for a second? How everyone in the show.
barricaded.
Everyone,
Okay.
I get so at one point Axel is like,
Eventually they're
yo,
gonna
we
run
don't
out
have
of
a lot of
resources.
bullets. We can't use bullets all the time. But at the same time, Axel, like when you're down there with all of the guys, like and the vampires are coming in, like in the very beginning when they started to
Yeah.
come in, and right before they started breaking the lights,
Yeah.
this is like, dude, Julius is right there. Shoot him. End this.
Yeah.
Like you could be done. You could jump forward in the plot.
I thought
of
that
this.
on those little windows too. I'm like,
Yeah, he had the
you could
little
shoot him.
the little openings that
Yeah.
you could easily stick a nozzle of a gun through. Anyway,
Yeah.
But can bullets kill the elites?
We
this
don't know
is a
yet.
great question, but they sure as hell should try,
I
right?
mean, yeah,
Yes.
they can try, but they
Well,
might be.
they don't know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they
That's
would
what
have
I'm
tried,
saying.
yeah.
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 But yeah, they miss a lot of opportunities to actually fire their weapons, and I want to chalk it up to the fact that he's like, no, we don't have enough bullets to do that. Come on now, guys.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the whites of their eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I think their biggest, problem was like, let's escape, because no matter how long we stay here and shoot at them, they're
Yeah.
eventually going to come to us and get at us, we have to leave.
Another big problem that they had was all their barricades were things with wheels. Like, hey, what are you doing, guys? You know if someone opens the door.
They put the brakes on them.
Oh, they put the brakes on. Got it.
You know how hard it is to move those things when the brakes are
They're heavy.
You guys, in this vampire apocalypse, we're going to have to just move things with wheels, okay?
Yep.
We don't have time to be moving big appliances.
Yep.
Yeah, but evidently they blow up the hospital.
Basically.
And they escape.
At least a lot of it.
Yeah, most of it.
They set off their booby
traps. There was a big explosion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we know, the inside is pretty much destroyed, but they escape in an ambulance.
Wait, we didn't talk about the other resistance that might be fighting off in the distance.
Well, yes. Okay, so
We
I had
don't
a
know what
question.
it is
I had
because
a
we get
question
the
about
flare
Which was
from
from
Muhammad.
Muhammad,
That's
yeah.
like, hey guys, they're coming towards you.
So
Then they're here, and then way over there is other shit going down. So it's like, what? We don't know who that is, right?
Well, the other shit, the fire,
resistance.
the resistance. What they say is probably the resistance, probably soldiers.
Yeah.
I thought it was all just Muhammad because then the flare comes from there. So you're assuming
it was like this way.
Was it different? Okay.
Yeah, I thought the flare was like this way, and then they're looking out this way, like. You know, looking north, let's
For
say.
those who are listening in iTunes.
Yeah, exactly.
We are making a lot of very interesting gestures. That's all.
Gesticulations.
So let's say they're looking north. It and that's where the, resistance is coming from. It looked like coming from the west was where the flare was.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it was like this way, because then they turn left and go, oh, flare, because it's coming down that street, like northwest of them, of where the other guys are coming from.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking in my mind, because we get that scene earlier of Muhammad just collecting weapons. Like, maybe he's like a one-man army, and he's Ramboing out there. And he's like,
that's what
I
I
am the resistance, you guys. Didn't I tell you that?
Well, he only picked up like one thing, which
A machete and a shotgun.
Both very helpful.
Well, I think it was a flare gun, the small one.
He got the,
Well, that the flare gun came later, too.
Oh, yeah.
First he found a shotgun, then he found a
yes.
machete, then he found the flare gun later, right before he used it.
But we saw 2 flares go off, and I thought
Yeah.
both of them were from Muhammad.
I did too.
Oh, so
that's
maybe
what-
one is from the actual resistance.
Maybe.
Okay.
And I
That's
thought,
possible.
I thought both of the flares were from Muhammad because we only saw the second flare go off from Muhammad, but the first flare went off from nowhere.
And only one flare lit the street, right? The other one went somewhere else. So it's
was in the
it could
sky,
be another
it
group
could be
for sure.
the resistance could have set off the first flare.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, ultimately, it's helped save them at the hospital. They're like, oh crap, people are coming for us, let's go. But they escape in an ambulance that was always
Yeah.
there.
They're
Yes.
super badass ambulance.
And modified. He said, like, you
Destruction-mobile.
have an ambulance with some modifications.
And it's got like the train
I just want to know
thing
how
on the
much
front.
gas
and,
they have, because that's
Oh,
always
right.
the thing in the apocalypse. Okay, cool. Let's say ideal world, you can drive through the streets that they're not crowded.
Right.
How far are you going to get on your one tank unless you brought extras with you?
I mean, are they also like I don't know? Maybe in the next episode we'll see that he's like planning to siphon every car that he comes across. You know what I mean? Like
That's true, because how many people
how
are
many
really
cars
siphoning
are just sitting
gas?
there?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But how bad is that gas that was sat there for 3 years?
Does gas go bad?
Well, it's bad.
Tell us in the comments.
I know it's bad if you leave your car not running
Okay.
and then start it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if the gasoline itself has gone bad.
These are the questions. For
and
the
very few
apocalypse.
people are driving anyways
Yeah.
that we've seen, so there's probably gas everywhere.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, that was the same question I had. Like, okay, they're in one vehicle.
Yeah.
Eventually,
How are they
they're gonna
gonna-
like hop to more different vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ambulance seems like it was decked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was weapons in it and all
Enough
that.
space for all of them to be
Yeah.
in one vehicle together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Axel thought it through.
I hope that they can just siphon some gas and keep using the rock and roll mobile.
Well, yeah, and the ambulance is like a fairly sturdy vehicle.
Yeah.
It's like compared to like a souped up station wagon.
Plus,
or
if they use
Yeah.
those lights, then everyone is just gonna pull over. So it'll be great in traffic.
I don't know if they
Uh-huh.
would. They wouldn't like use the alarms and stuff because that
No.
would just draw attention to.
Yeah,
it.
no, I know. I
bad.
was teasing. That was a dumb joke I made.
It's okay.
Anything else?
Okay, I really wanted to really quickly talk about Blondie, the other Blondie, not vampire.
The annoying one of our team.
Yeah, the Blondie
That we
lady.
thought was a murderer.
who we
That could
thought-
still be the
Yeah,
murderer.
and she like
Yeah.
and she's like telling on Axel's like, oh, he's going crazy and talking to himself, but like,
Yeah.
and
And, like,
he's having a
I love that you
slight
said
breakdown.
telling on him, like, because it was so childish and Tadley. Like, he's talking to
Axel.
himself like a crazy person.
Like, we shouldn't trust him because he's losing it.
It's like,
no.
oh, are
he's
you
just
also
having
in
a
the
moment.
apocalypse? Can you just take a step back, lady? Like, Jesus Christ, come on.
Right.
Like, we are
Yeah.
all in a life or death situation.
He's having
Yeah.
a moment.
He has no idea how to save our lives. Do you? What are you doing?
Yeah. You're following him anyways, so
Yeah.
you could have left. Nobody
Yeah.
asked you to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were watching it a minute ago, you were like, early on in the episode, the guy, what's his name? The guy, the disagreeable guy?
John.
John. When John was like, well, we should just leave. It's like, do it.
I was like, fine.
You should go.
Nobody's
Yeah.
making you stay.
Yeah.
That's what Axel said in the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
Like, you can go whenever you want. You know
Exactly.
where the door is.
Though I will say, I was happy that John wasn't a total jerk this entire episode.
His scene with the doctor was great.
Yeah, and then
He's great.
He did
later,
help Vanessa.
Susan's like, "Hey, thank you so much," and he's like, "Well, I just did what she told me to." Well, that still saved her life. So he kind of was like,
He was humble about it, which is
All right.
great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it
And
as
he
well.
did
He did say the lines like, and I hope someone would have done that for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
and he didn't shoot Flesh outright.
And I will say that scene, I'm
That was a
glad
good
Vanessa handled it that way and was just like,
Yes.
just fucking do it if you're gonna do it, go. And like,
Called him out on it.
and he was like, fine, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, and look at Flesh. He like put his head. He's like,
Yeah, he's like, I'm
do it.
kind of ready to die, man. If we're being real.
Yeah.
It was just so annoying. They're literally fleeing for their lives.
Yeah, now?
They broke
Yeah.
up the momentum.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's like, come on,
on,
man.
John.
You guys are so close to freedom, and you just have
but
to
it's
handle
just
this
like
now.
storytelling. When you're watching an action scene, this is like literally in the middle of the action. He's
Yeah.
literally breaking up the momentum. You are ruining the moment
Well,
with
that-
something so annoying.
And that's great because in that moment we all related to Vanessa going, now? Really? Now?
Really
you want
now?
to do that?
This is when you're doing this?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
You had all these other days before you could have just shot him. Shot him in his sleep.
Yeah.
Even though that's the cowardly thing to do.
Yeah. Well, so far
speaking
he's
of
kind
Flash.
of not. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to say, or the last thing I wanted to bring up at least, is the moment on the roof where John is like, yeah, then we can turn them into humans. That'd be easier to kill them. And then Flesh is like, if they're human,
Yeah.
why would we kill them? You know?
Yes.
And I just thought that was such an important moment because John is ready for war. Like, he does not care who he's fighting against. He's ready
Yeah.
to murder whoever he has to murder.
Yep.
It's like, it's murder at this point, and he does not give a crap. Like, whereas Flesh is like, oh my God, like, I want the world to have humanity back the way I have my humanity back. This is horrifying and complicated and nuanced, but this is humanity, and we need it. So,
Yeah.
Flesh, I love you so much.
Yeah, Flesh is great. And we also know that Flesh was the top dog with Julius.
But he was like part of the
Flesh was
crew. We're not sure
important.
how. Yeah.
Yeah, Flesh was important.
Yeah. Which John does not appreciate.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And then our Blondie, annoying Blondie, took the easy way out.
Ugh.
She like went off on her own, like
So dumb.
found a
Stupid.
vampire, tried to shoot him like 8 times, and was like, "Oh,
thought
this
there
is
was
hard.
more than
This
one.
is hard."
Yeah.
I thought that was just the one
I
that was
thought
just
there's,
like,
like,
"Oh, there's
two.
one." I figured
Yeah.
she just like could not kill this
Either
one.
way, she
but-
isolated
Yeah.
herself,
Yeah.
but she should not
Stupid.
have broken away from the
Yeah.
pack.
Yes.
That
And
was
then
on
she
her.
was like, "Oh, well, I'm not coming to vampire." Bloop.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I had a jaw drop moment there. I mean, it's one of those, like, I was not one of those, I can't believe that happened, but it's just one of those, like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah.
And Vanessa's there. If you become a vampire, it's okay.
Yeah. You could have. You know,
Yeah, she could've
you know
paid
a
you
thing or
back.
two.
Yeah.
It's not like ugh.
But, man,
What a character.
She's gone. She took herself off, and
Bye,
that was
Blondie.
But the question
her own
is-
self-infliction.
yes. The
But
question is, was she the murderer? Because
That's a great.
if there's
That's- I
no
was
more
just gonna ask
murders, if there's no more murders, that means she is. But then again, the murderer might have stopped as well. So it's not a if and then perfect situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
That was
very
my question. I
complicated.
was like, okay, because we kind of thought it was Blondie.
Yeah.
But is there a murderer still among them?
Speaking
Yep.
of which, I thought it was funny that we got rid of one Blondie and we got 2 other Blondies. We got evil Blondie and our new Blondie. So, so we have so many Blondies, you guys. We're never gonna run out.
Yep.
It's going to be very confusing for
Yeah.
each Blondie.
For all of the people who are just listening to
Blondie
us
and
call
Blondie.
everyone Blondie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
You're welcome.
well, the one moment that I did love is like Julius's pep talk to his guys before they were going to storm.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
that
like,
his
in
Russian
Romanian.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Romanian and Serbian.
I love that. It reminded me of Lord of the Rings also, where he
Yeah.
like does the hand of the white or whatever and just
Yeah.
puts the blood. It was very cool, and it was very like
Scary.
Yeah, I'd go to war like that. Yeah, totally. If my general came around and like smeared blood on my face and was like, "I'm willing to die with you, brother. Let's do this." He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill him."
And there's a guy at the end of the line who's like, "Okay, I'm ready,"
Yeah.
and the other ones are like excited, but him,
But
he's
that
like
guy, yeah,
shuffling, and he's like, "Okay, let's go."
that guy's the puppy of the group.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I want to go."
fun.
Want to eat human flesh?
Julius has the best pep talks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he's seriously the best hype man on this show.
And yeller,
Yeah.
"Rah!"
Yeah,
Oh, he's such a great yeller.
he is the best hype
Alex,
man
you're a
on
great
the show.
yeller, and I really want to just see a scene where you're just playing with your dog, taking him for a walk. You know, I love you guys.
Yes, but we see, other than like pretty much just the war of these vampires, it's going on.
Vampire
How long
Civil
has
War.
it been going on?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? That takes us to predictions.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
There we are.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
No one is ever as afraid of these as I am. There are
Why are you
ghosts.
afraid?
There's so many
So,
ghosts.
what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna last long in that ambulance now that they're escaped from the hospital?
We might lose one or two more people, but yeah,
I think so too.
they're gonna find the resistance. Hopefully, this next episode or the one after it.
Yes. So I feel like we obviously have the dots of the Doc's sister to connect. So Doc's sister in some
we
way
gotta go back to that. Yeah.
in some way I feel like has some answers as to the entirety of the frame of the world. Where are we? What exactly happened to the rest of the world, right? So I feel like she has to come up in this. She has to be maybe some way affiliated with the Resistance. The daughter Dylan has to come up. Maybe she's affiliated with the Resistance. I still want her to just be like a lone wolf, like vampire hunter, just out there in the wastelands, and Muhammad will team up with her and then lead, and then the two of them will like either both fall in love and lead back to the group, or just come back to the group. Either way, it's fine. They should fall in love though. And I think our crew will do fairly well. I think we're probably gonna have tragedy because this is the nature of the show. But I think that they're in a really good spot right now. They're off on, they're off to find a new settlement, which I think creates the opportunity for new alliances.
Yeah.
We haven't had like really opportunity for alliances at all so far.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having characters that we can like sort of rely on. I think. Yeah. And I'm excited to like see where Flesh goes, where Doc goes. I think both of their mental health is probably the most interesting thing, about them. So those things are fascinating, and eventually weaponized Van Helsing
Vanessa.
blood. So that's gonna happen.
Biochemical weapons of Vanessa blood.
Love it.
Something.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna find a way to meet up with Muhammad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were driving the opposite direction. Muhammad was like, "No, come back."
He's like,
on,
wait,
guys.
that's good job, guys.
Wait.
Oh wait,
But I'm
me.
still here.
Yeah.
So I think eventually those two the group will meet up with Muhammad. They're gonna find the Resistance, and then the Resistance might have the means and the sources to weaponize Vanessa's
There we go.
blood
Good
or
point.
whatever
Yeah.
chemicals to turn it into a weapon. Because now that they left the hospital, you think
Yeah.
you'd have the equipment to do it, but
Yeah.
I
Doc
think the
packed some
Resistance
stuff
might
though.
She had a little red
Yeah.
bag. Yeah.
I think the Resistance might help with that, and
Yeah.
then somehow they might get caught in the whole vampire
Civil War.
civil war that's
Yeah.
going on. So
Yeah.
who knows? Is it going to be the humans or the vampires?
That brings up something really interesting. I think that Rebecca the vampire,
Yeah.
our sex vampire,
Yeah.
has a different relationship with humans than the rest of the vampires.
Oh, yeah, well-
I think that's obvious.
Well,
but
they're like, she's keeping it as a pet. I don't understand why she's doing that.
yeah, exactly.
So
Right.
do you think not Vanessa, the Rebecca is going to be the one person to be like, nah, let's end the civil war, like, because she has a affinity towards the humans?
I don't think she'll care about ending the Civil War. She might team up with the humans
Yeah.
and cause some chaos because that'll be fun.
I think
She'll
ultimately, I think ultimately she has her own interests at heart. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
not in anyone else's best interest. It's probably in her best interest.
Just
Right.
Yep.
But I think that she is definitely a force. Hopefully, one of these allies that I'm hoping for. Against Julius and against
Yeah.
Dimitri.
Yeah.
Dimitri's death squad.
Okay. So Rebecca will leave. Like she'll.
She might do
we'll
her
get
own
Rebecca
thing.
on our team, yeah.
Yeah.
For just like a minute though.
Yeah, she might do like one thing.
Yeah, she'll get one battle with us.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh, you were great. Oh no, betrayal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a lot of things still to come on the show.
True.
In the meantime, where can everyone keep following you?
You guys can find me online at Kari D Lane on Twitter and Instagram. That's KARIDLANE, and Facebook at Kari Lane Actor.
And I'm Andrew Mena. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew Mena or on Instagram at the Andrew Mena. And watch Gravity Falls. It's so good, and it's on Hulu.
There you go. You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing. Let us know your predictions. Let us know what's going to happen with this awesome vampire civil war going on. Happy Halloween to everybody, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.